I am currently in Texas Motor Speedway actually. I've never been at a NASCAR track before. It's pretty impressive. And behind me is the refreshed and updated 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe, as well as the Chevrolet Suburban. Now, why am I here? Because as you probably know, the Tahoe and Suburban are undergoing a big facelift for the 2025 model year. These vehicles are already quite very popular. Together, if you combine them with their GMC and Cadillac cousins, they correspond to more than 60% of the full-size SUV segment. So GM felt it was important to give these big boys a facelift. So I'm going to go around this vehicle and tell you about all the changes for 2025. All right, so the obvious first change is the front fascia. The grille and the headlights and a bit of the bumper as well are redesigned. It's a full LED setup now, and when you turn on the truck, there's also a nice little animation going on here in the headlights. Pretty cool. Overall, it's the same vehicle, same platform, same drivetrains. It's still available with two V8 engines, 5.3 and 6.2 liter, as well as a diesel option, a 3-liter Duramax inline 6. However, now for the off-road Z71 package, you can now get the diesel engine in that one. It wasn't available before. So every single version of the Tahoe gets, different wheels and color packages. Like these are 24-inch wheels, by the way. This is new for 2025, 24 inches. That's massive. And there are a lot of different trim levels. Now, this is a high country. You can have your Tahoe in RST, Z71. There's entry-level models as well. And it's the same thing for Suburban. So the Tahoe is obviously just the shorter version. The Suburban is this, but with a longer rear overhang for more cargo space. Out the rear, the taillight treatment has been modified as well. So LED taillights, just like in the front. They also have a cool animation when you turn on the car. The quad chrome tailpipes are now standard across the lineup, which was only available on higher trim levels before. And it's still the good old formula of a very practical SUV, massive trunk. You can shove a lot of stuff in here. Nothing changes in terms of cargo space or the way that you can lower the rear seats. You have buttons right here. It's all done electronically, as you can see. And I can bring it back up by pressing the button again. Again, classic stuff. We're already familiar with all of this, and nothing in that respect changes for the Tahoe and the Suburban. And out the rear, you still get the option of either going with a dual captain's chair setup like this, or the full, three-seater setup. This is a high country, very luxurious interior. They've also fiddled with the materials. Nice leather here. We're in Texas. I find that this leather fits very well with the place. And you get the entertainment system as well on each of the seats here in the back. Again, that was already available. It's just continuing for 2025. What changes is inside in the front, especially on the dashboard. There were also some changes to the MagneRide suspension and the Air Ride suspension. GM says they made some, some tuning in terms of the way the system operates. Honestly, driving the vehicle, it feels the same as the last truck. But in terms of the mechanical components, it is exactly the same as before. And the transmission is also the same, still a 10-speed automatic transmission. Okay, so hopping up inside. So the obvious change is this big, massive tablet. Surprise, surprise, another tablet in the auto industry. If you remember the last generation truck, the infotainment screen was kind of small. It was only like a 10-inch setup. And it kind of looked old from the get-go. So by bringing this out, they're just really like optimizing and being more up-to-date with the rest of General Motors products. This is very similar to what you'll see in their EVs, like the Blazer EV, the Equinox EV, even the Silverado EV. It's the same basic setup. However, there is a distinction. You can see here, you got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Why is that? I thought GM was getting rid of those. Well, apparently, for their gasoline propulsion vehicles, they're going to keep Android Auto and Apple CarPlay because they say that for EVs, they want to have a full native experience. Everything is kind of like in the system. They seem to say that the software works better when you have everything included in it for EVs, especially for finding charging stations and whatnot. Whereas in this case, it still allows you to project your phone on the screen. Kind of an old school approach. I have a feeling it's also because the people buying these trucks are more old school as well. It's just my personal opinion. And they might feel more comfortable still keep staying with the old technology. I like this system, works well. You can download your apps, over-the-air updates as well. You can also move your icons and put them wherever you want. Your basic navigation system is, of course, Google Maps, because this is a Google-based system. How this is going to work is that you're going to log into your Gmail account, and you're going to adapt this the same way you would your smartphone. And GM also gives you 8 years of free connectivity for things like Google Assistant, right here, as well as Google Maps, so you don't have to pay for the data for that, and you also get a complimentary 3-year subscription to OnStar. So they're basically giving you free internet for 3 years. You don't have to pay for that for the first 3 years, and for 8 years the basic systems like Google Assistant are not going to cost you anything as well. The HVAC controls are also changed. It's now the piano kind of keys right here, the toggle switches. They work well. Physical keys, redundant to the digital key touches up here, and that's nice. That's what you want. You want to mix of both, and it operates very well. The dashboard layout was changed. This one has a nice wood trim. You can get some with fake carbon fiber. It looks nice and modern, very luxurious. And the seats are, in the High Country spec. They are very comfortable and supportive. I've driven this thing on a long road trip, and it is an amazing truck to drive. The massive center console is still here. I can operate it here pressing this button, and then it'll move rearward. And then down underneath, I have a little cool secret compartment. That's nice. You can just hide stuff down there that you don't want people to see. I'll let you figure that one out. Now back to the instrument cluster again. That big tablet also gives you this digital cluster right here. I apologize for the glare. It's very sunny. We're in Texas, so it is what it is. And this can be customizable by pressing a little button right here on the steering wheel. As you can see, you can change the layout. A bit of lag, not so bad. It's tolerable. And you can go around different kind of layouts. You can have like your navigation directly here in the screen. And of course, there's a heads-up display system available. You can't see on the camera, but you can see the setup right here. And that's pretty much it, honestly. Tahoe and Suburban are very important vehicles for GM. They sell a lot of these things, and they're really owning it with, there's so many different levels that you can choose to go up the ladder. Tahoe, Suburban, GMC Yukon, GMC Yukon XL, then you have the Denali models at GMC, and then you move on to Cadillac with the Escalade. So you can really go up in the GM lineup if you're interested in a full-size SUV. Now, are people cross-shopping between a Tahoe and a Yukon or a Cadillac Escalade? Apparently no. GM says that consumers are quite loyal to each brand. Tahoe people are not going to buy a Yukon and vice versa. It's very rare that you're going to see that. So they coexist, and they're not really seeing them cannibalizing their sales. They're both living in their own space. But there you have it. It's pretty straightforward. It's just a facelift. The truck drives the same way as before. Good power from the V8 engines. I like the fact that they've added the Duramax diesel option on the off-road trim on the Z71. Also some really nice colors available. There's one in particular that I really like that they call Cypress Gray, but it's actually green. Green is back, baby, and I'm really happy to see car makers having fun with colors again. So there's a full review on TopSpeed.com in the reviews section. I go in detail about my experience, and a little nod also here to the NASCAR track. If you've never been to a NASCAR track, it's really worth seeing. It is massive. There's a lot of energy here. Right now, nothing's happening. There's no race, but there's so much people. There's a whole ecosystem around here, and it's very contagious. They don't make them like Texas. Everything is big here, and it's really awesome. Thank you.